Criminal defense attorney Katie Cherkasky. Katie, thanks so much for joining us on this Friday. I hope you had a good holiday. So Mayor Adams suggesting that this crime be looked into by federal authorities. It is one of the most heinous things I've ever seen, and the video doesn't make it better. And so here's a New York Post read on this, because this is how people are observing this latest move by Mayor Eric Adams, who's been pretty vocal these past couple of days. They write this: one political insider said Adams' statement is more of a signal sent to show that he is willing to cooperate with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and President-elect Trump's administration to crack down on criminal migrants. Is that how you were reading it too?
Well, if it is a signal, I think it's a very important signal. And theoretically, this man can be charged federally under the federal arson statute for setting fire to property used in interstate commerce on the subway system there, resulting in this horrific death. But practically speaking, the New York first-degree murder charges do carry a maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole. So for the legal side of things, I think he will be held accountable either way. But in terms of the federal involvement, I think it's an important signal that Mayor Adams is willing and ready to cooperate with the feds when there are these heinous cases involving illegal aliens.
Let me ask you about this, though. Another big case in New York City right now, currently underway is this guy that killed this healthcare CEO, Luigi Mangione. We saw the video of them bringing him in, parading him through New York City. Never really seen anything like it. Let's pop on the screen up here the different charges that these two men are facing. And there is a difference. You see that Sebastian Zapata Khalil is facing first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and arson. Okay, those are the state charges. Luigi Mangione's New York charges are first-degree murder, second-degree murder as a crime of terrorism, and then second-degree murder. Katie, the terrorism part, I mean, why does Luigi Mangione, while that crime is awful as well, why does he seem to have a more serious charge on his hand rather than the one that we saw where the man is literally burning a woman alive?
Well, in my personal opinion, I think that the terrorism enhancer in the New York case is really inappropriate, and it kind of plays right into Luigi Mangione's hand, because he wanted to perpetrate this idea that he was committing this act as a result of his position against certain capitalist enterprises and against the healthcare industry. So that essentially allows him to continue to perpetrate that narrative because of that terrorism enhancer. And that's really what that is all about. I don't think it's necessary, and it may actually weaken the prosecution's case there. But certainly this case, compared to the arson homicide, is in many ways even more horrific under the facts, but the charges don't necessarily reflect that when you look at them that way.
Well, it is interesting because, I mean, Mangione is, like I said, paraded through New York City. It becomes a big show, which is what, his defense attorney is saying. Like, why is the mayor doing this in these press conferences? And then you're not doing that with somebody like Sebastian Zapata Khalil. One last quick question for you, Katie. Just maybe a dumb question, but we're going to see more and more of this when the Trump administration comes in. This guy is looking at upwards of 40 years, I think, if he's convicted. The Trump administration obviously wants to, day one, start deporting criminal illegal aliens. So what might we see happen? Would he serve time if he's convicted here, or is he out of the country?
Well, typically the United States does want to retain jurisdiction and ensure that convicted criminals are imprisoned after they are convicted. If they are deported, there's not necessarily any guarantee that they will be held accountable in that sense. So even though there is a way to deport convicted criminals from this country, that's not necessarily always in the best interest of the justice system. So, of course, ironically, we as Americans will continue to pay for these people who spend the rest of their life behind bars for the rest of their lives.
Wow. Well, I mean, you have to consider what the families of the victims are going through as well. I know they want to see justice served as well. Katie Cherkasky, thank you so much for joining us on your Friday. Good to see you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.